Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you've forgotten, I'm going to tell you what we're going to tell you every day: AFA way. And,
Yes,
yeah, because we all deserve to feel good, right? We're here to change the dialogue around what it means to feel good and be high. H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. And this book brings you high vibe thoughts. Nurse Mark wrote it. And Mark, for the new viewers that are out there, can you
yeah.
just tell them about the book? Because it's important. These types of things, these are great tools. I carry it with me everywhere I go. I do. It's
I
in the
know you
bag.
do. God love you. You're amazing. You really are. And
Oh,
Sherry,
love.
it's so great to be with you every day. So yeah, the book was absolutely a result of wanting to decrease stigma. Remember, we talk about things that people
Yeah.
don't want to talk about, and
Yeah.
one of them are mental health issues.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that goes to it. There's a lot that goes into it. So I share my experience of 25 years of being in the mental health system and being treated for depression and not having that great of success,
Yeah.
and having to come up with a way that would alleviate that, would help me to live a life that I absolutely love. And so
Right.
that's what the book is about, and it has tools in there, and really setting up a routine that will set you up for success.
Yes, right,
And
and
you
that's what
don't
I like.
necessarily have to have any mental health issues for it to
You
be,
don't.
relevant. You know what I
Like,
mean?
it
It's good
it
for
it's
everybody.
really it's about caring for your endocannabinoid system
It
in a
is,
way. If we're gonna apply cannabis to the book, this
totally.
is just a great way because, you talk about plant medicine,
I
about
do.
phytobotanical nutrients, about nutrition. I look at cannabis as a nutrient, right?
Adaptogen.
Phytobotanical nutrient to nourish my entire mind, body, and spirit all at the same
Right.
time. Thank God for the
Ooh,
reminder of that awesome umbrella.
ooh,
Shower on me, cannabis.
ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
Oh,
this is
yeah.
just this is good as gold. And this is the part that I love so much, Mark, is because it's really
Mhm.
hard for men to come forward and to open up and bare their whole hearts and souls for healing. There's a stigma
Yeah.
around men healing. And the
Yeah, there
bravest thing
is.
you can
It
do
you
as a
know,
man
it
is
does
to
affect
heal
all your
yourself.
relationships when you
Yeah.
when you come out and, you're vulnerable as a man. Totally affects your relationships, every single one of
Yeah.
them, and
Yeah.
not necessarily in a good way. So you gotta be
Yeah.
courageous sometimes and just say, "Hey, it's the way it is." Accept it and figure out how to deal with it, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so
Yeah.
that leads into the morning daily love.
The daily love.
Love. I
Yeah.
love the
Good
love.
morning, Eric. Good morning, Trish.
Good
Good to see
morning,
you this
everyone.
morning. And everybody
Yeah.
else who's hanging out. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy
Yeah, let's rip
Monday.
into the daily love, huh?
Yeah,
It's,
definitely.
this is a good one. So, um, good morning, Tiffany.
Mhm.
This is one of the banners that I saw for a long time, and this is called "Let Go and Let God." Woo!
Ooh.
Whatever God you're worshiping.
Yeah.
So here it is. Ready? I do what is mine to do, and trust all will be well. Oh, throughout my life, I've learned there is a time to work and a time to rest, just as there is a time to speak and a time to listen. I remember this truth if I find myself working relentlessly to make something happen. There is
Mhm.
time for me to step back and exercise the faith and patience needed to give my efforts time to manifest. I
Yeah.
trust this orderly process and let go and let God. I stop my attempts to control life, knowing that the divine is the very essence of life. I believe my highest good is on the way to me, and this makes it easier for me to be patient and trusting. I do my part and then I relax, knowing the divine is in and through all things. Ah,
It was interesting when you were saying let go and let God. What came to me was this: let
mm,
go and let good. That popped in. Let go and
yeah,
let good. Right? So just
mhm,
remove, add another O to it, and let the good stuff
totally.
in. Let go. It's about being receptive,
Yeah.
open,
Mhm.
vulnerable, And here's the thing that came to me too. So when you think of letting go, right?
Yeah.
Just it's like that the fall, trust that
Yeah.
you're going to fly, trust,
Yeah.
faith.
Totally.
And then the next piece of it about letting go is what do you need to surrender?
Yeah.
Right? And here we go. You know what I got, Mark? It just ties in. I got
Yeah.
some surrender cards.
Woo!
So
Oh, roll with one of those.
you know what I mean? This is really cool. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask the universe. These are the power of surrender cards. These are green nurse Carrie Lee's cards. And
So great.
it's just kind of cool.
Yeah.
Tiny little messages. And so the power of surrender. So let's just see, y'all. What do we all need to surrender to today? Or just even think about surrendering to? Just a different
Right.
perception. One, two, three. Pick
It's
one.
okay to let go.
It is okay to let
Really,
go. Okay, here we go.
it's that idea that you always need to be in control that really causes a lot.
Ooh,
What do you
here it
got?
is. Are you ready? Okay, this is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Surrender to prayer.
Ooh.
Okay. So prayer is
Yeah.
a conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
Give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard through the universe and answers and support will arrive.
Yeah.
Right. This is a good one. I surrender to prayer, to the silence, to
Boom.
the voice, right? Go in. This is what this weekend was about for me. It was about really going in and being silent and sitting in meditation and paying attention to, yeah,
Mhm.
going in, let go, surrender, having that prayerful conversation with whatever you believe to be universal source.
Mhm.
Really, really good way to tap into wisdom.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
let go and let God. So, what do you need to surrender to today, Mark? We gonna surrender?
Boy, oh boy. Yeah, boy, that's a loaded question. I don't know. There's so many things.
I know, right? I know. I need to
Yeah,
surrender to. I need to surrender to expectations and have more appreciation. That's what came to me, right?
that's always a
Surrender expectations, right?
yeah.
And then I can appreciate what shows up more, right?
Mhm.
If it doesn't show up the way I think it should, I'm expecting it to show up a certain way. So if I
Right.
can surrender and pray and appreciate what does show up,
Yeah.
wow, right?
Mhm.
That's definitely an
Yeah.
AFA way.
Well, listen, if you set expectations and that it has to show up that one certain way,
Yeah,
you're totally ruling out all of the other possibilities that
yeah,
could be in play.
yeah, definitely.
That's really what happens. And
That's what
you
happens.
know what? I why not just be open to whatever occurs, right? Because so many
Exactly.
marvelous things can occur in the space of anything's possible.
Anything's possible. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's going to tie into cannabis because at
All right, back to it.
one point in time in my life,
Mhm.
I had lost hope. I had
Yeah.
lost inspiration. I wasn't growing and I certainly wasn't healing. And so
Mm,
cannabis came into my life and changed my world, rocked my world, changed how I looked at how I took care of myself and started focusing on different types of principles. As nurses and traditional clinicians, we focus on body parts,
mhm.
symptoms, disease processes,
Right.
medications. And hopefully we get to mental emotional health. Rarely do we ever touch a patient's spirit. Sometimes, and why would we wait for spiritual healing at the end of life? When it's
Right.
right?
Right.
That's we
And
get to
that's
that eventually.
traditionally where people start to talk about it, right?
Yes, yes,
At the end of
right.
life, they say, "Oh, by the way, that spiritual side of you, maybe we should start talking about it now because you're about to go there." Right?
Exactly. So
People start to think about those things. Why not
yeah,
think about it today? Why
today.
not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so cannabis ties into this because
Mhm.
on my nursing journey, on my journey as a patient in
Yeah.
2018, I was blown
Yeah.
away that the National Council State Boards of Nursing came up with
Mhm.
a call to action that all nurses, nursing
Mhm.
students, and advanced practice nurses must
Right.
have 6 essential areas of knowledge when it comes to cannabis as medicine.
Mhm.
And so we've been covering these, Mark, and we're
We
going to
have.
keep we've been covering. There's 6 of them, but the one we're going to hone in on today has to do with spirituality. And the
Yeah.
reason why it's so important is because it is listed in the National Council State Boards of Nursing. It's important for clinicians,
Right.
doctors, nurses, healthcare providers, whatever you do in the space of health and wellness.
Mhm.
It's important for you to understand cannabis as medicine.
Right.
It's gonna filter in to every single thing that we do as we
And
go forward with
is
legalization.
isn't it amazing that it's been 3 years since they put these up? And
Mhm.
this is the National Council of State Boards of Nursing, again, They're the ones who make the national exam, the NCLEX, that every nurse has to pass in order to
Yes.
actually practice. Isn't it amazing that 3 years later, we still, in the major nursing programs, have no cannabis education? It just blows my mind, which is
I
why
know.
we're here every Monday talking about it so
Yeah,
that maybe somebody in the educational space, in academia, actually realizes that they need to add this to their curriculum.
they do. They totally do. And
Yeah.
here's the reason why, the bottom
Mhm.
line. Once I learned this, once you go down the rabbit hole, you cannot go back.
You can't
When I
unknow it.
learned that the endocannabinoid system was the largest system in my body, that it
Mhm.
regulated all 11 organ systems and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems, I
Right.
was like, wow, I never learned about that. Wow.
Mhm.
And then I learned that single thing that I do in my life or don't do in my life
Yep.
affects that system. Right. So
Totally.
you just think of your entire meat suit and all the different systems that are going on to keep your body
Mhm.
humming like a well oiled machine.
Yeah.
The endocannabinoid system is the system that controls all of it.
Amazing. I know.
Yeah.
Once you really get it, it's like, "Oh my god, this has to be taught. This
Yeah.
has to
It
be
has to be.
taught."
Yeah.
So here we
And that's
are.
the part and that's
Teach
the
it.
part that's so cool too, Mark, and I
Yeah.
always like to, for the new viewers that are out there, the reason
Yep.
other thing too is when we talk about cannabinoid therapeutics, people need to understand that it's more than just cannabis, right? Cannabinoid therapeutics, because cannabinoids we make, the plant makes,
Yeah.
pharmaceutical companies make.
Absolutely.
Cannabinoids fit into our body in like every single thing
Yeah.
that we do or don't do. So it's a piece
Chemical
of the pie.
structure, right? Yeah.
So let's get back to spirituality. So the
Oh.
sixth National Council State Boards of Nursing,
Mhm.
um, one of the sixth ones said what, Mark? It's like,
The nurse shall approach the patient without judgment regarding a
yeah,
patient's choice of treatment or preferences in managing pain and other
mm,
distressing symptoms.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
That's a
Mhm.
big one, right?
Yeah.
Without judgments.
Mhm.
And so Mark and I actually presented on this very theme at the American Cannabis Nurses Association conference.
Mhm.
Spirituality is the root of cannabis care. What we're doing is we're changing and bringing in the spirit of plant medicine
Mhm.
for patients and educating them on the various ways to help decrease suffering and improve quality of life. So
Right.
when we approach the patient without judgment regarding their preferred method of treatment, what we're doing is we're stepping out of what we think they should be doing, right? And we're stepping into spiritual aspects. We're connecting, right? The
Yeah.
essence of nursing is human caring. We need to meet patients where they're at,
That's right. That's
you
right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. So here we are. Let's
Here we
talk
are.
spirituality. Let's talk cannabis.
And the and Mark, the past few weeks, we've been discussing Gene Watson's theory. As
We
nurses,
have.
theory kind of is like nerdy. It's like, ew. But you know what? You kind of have to start applying these different things that are out there because we want
Yeah.
to truly legitimize this and how it works. And
Mhm.
nursing theory fits in. So Gene Watson's human caring theory incorporates different theories. And Mark, what are those different theories that
So we talked
it kind
about
of
it,
incorporates?
Sherry, and you're right. When you first hear of these nursing theorists, it's a little dry, but once you get
Yeah.
past that and you really connect to it, especially this one, it's amazing. And so, Gene Watson's human caring theory is based on number one, humanistic psychology, and it really calls for the person to look deeply within, with the knowledge that self awareness is a prerequisite for self growth. Then the second thing is Eastern philosophy, right? Holistic philosophy,
Yeah.
spiritual principles looking at the whole instead of the parts, and it focuses on similarities. The last thing, number three, is transpersonal psychology. It's a spiritual psychology, a whole person psychology. It's connecting with spirit and transcending the self and the ego.
There you
So, what
go.
does Watson say about human caring theory and transpersonal nursing, Sherry?
So she describes Jean Watson describes a transpersonal nurse is one who has the ability to center consciousness and
Hmm.
intention on caring, healing, and wholeness rather than on disease, illness, and pathology. So it
Mm,
really focuses on helping patients to achieve a more complete sense of harmony within the mind, the body, and the spirit using these caring
Mhm.
interactions. So
Yeah.
she's developed these 10 Caritas processes, and we've been covering each of these. There's 10 of them. And so we're on week 9, and discussing what these are and how they can be applied to cannabis
Mhm.
nursing. Really
Yeah.
to all nursing. It's
Yeah.
really more, it's more than just
It's
cannabis
all
nursing.
nursing, Sherry. Yeah, it's not just
Exactly.
cannabis, it's all of it.
It's all of nursing and
Yeah.
human caring. It's like, why did I go into nursing? To
Mhm.
care for human beings, the whole
Right,
human experience. And
right.
that's what we've forgotten about in the traditional
Mhm.
system. And as we bring in these progressive therapies, the green nurse, right? The whole theme of the green nurse is to bring in all of
Mhm.
it,
Mhm.
all different modalities. And so this is
Yeah,
just a really great reminder for nurses, health practitioners, doctors
totally.
to think about human caring. So do you want to go through these real quick, Mark? We'll go
Let's
back and
do it.
forth. All
Yeah,
right. And then we'll hit the
absolutely,
ninth
Sherry.
one. All right.
What's that?
Then we'll discuss the ninth one. We'll go through all
Boom.
8 of them real quick so people
Let's
can
do
hear
it.
them. All
All
right.
right.
You're
Yeah.
on.
So,
1.
first, practice loving kindness and compassion towards self and others when working with patients.
That's a good one. And the caritis process number 2 is to remain authentically present, honoring your own inner life and that of others. Do the work.
Yeah. Number 3, remain sensitive to self and others by cultivating our own spiritual practices to move beyond ego self into higher levels of consciousness for healing.
There you go. And the
Mm.
fourth caritas process is developing and sustaining a helping, trusting, and authentic caring relationship. The
Ah,
connection.
ah. Number 5, creating a healing environment on all levels by being the healing environment. We become the place of healing.
And the sixth Caritas process states to remain present and supportive to both positive and negative expression of
Mm,
feelings. And we
yeah.
do see a lot of that in cannabis.
Yeah. Uh-huh. The 7th, to remain in transpersonal teaching and learning within the context of caring relationships, staying within others from others' frame of reference.
Right. Yeah. And then the eighth Caritas process is to provide creative problem solving or solution seeking through the caring process. As
Mm,
nurses, we find out what patients want and need, and we bring it to them, the bottom
yeah.
line. And then today's Caritas process that we're going to talk about, Mark, this is a good
Yeah.
one. We're going to get into some examples.
Yeah, absolutely. To assist with basic needs as sacred acts, touching the mind, body, and spirit of others, sustaining human dignity.
Mm, there you go. So,
Yeah.
how do we do that, right? How do we honor the spiritual nature of
Mhm.
everyone that we care for?
Yeah.
Y'all ready for number one?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Humble. You must remain humble. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
seriously, remain. It's not all about me. It's about that patient. It's about the person that's right in front of
Yeah.
you that you're caring for, that you're interacting with, even whether you're a
Yeah.
clinician or not.
Yeah.
Honoring, you know, the basic needs or sacred
Mhm.
acts, touching the mind, body, and spirit of others, simple, mundane tasks, random acts of kindness,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
doing that with all people that we come into contact with, we are the healing space as
Yeah.
clinicians.
Yeah.
And so what does that look like? So, simple example, right? Sacred
Mhm.
acts. Well, here we go. We have a patient that comes. I'm going to just give an example. Patient that comes to us
Mhm.
plagued with stigma. They might have some issues with computer stuff, right? What's a kind thing for me to do, even though I don't want to do it? Help them fill out the intake paperwork, right? That's a simple, mundane
Yeah.
task. It's a random act of kindness. It's an
Mhm.
act of service. That,
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Praying with the patient being scared, and having,
Mhm.
and they're into prayer, and they're into meditation, taking that moment. I
Mhm.
remember being in the presence of a patient who was in so much pain. This is when I was doing consulting out of a CBD store. And they had samples of topicals, taking the time to rub a little bit of topical on that patient's knee or to give them some topical to rub on their back.
Mhm.
These are just things, is just paying attention,
Mhm.
sensing,
Yeah.
connecting, and
Yeah.
meeting them where they're at.
Yeah.
Mark, you have some great stories of a patient that you worked with.
Oh,
Share that
yeah,
with our
absolutely.
viewers.
Yeah, I had a patient at one point, um, and, it was he had come into the hospital because he was having trouble not eating. He had cancer, and it had been recurrent. And, everybody else was he said, you know what? I just don't want to do this anymore. I've had it. I'm 90s, whatever. And, I've had a good life, and I just don't want to do this anymore. And everybody else was, oh, hang in there, hang in there. No, stay around, do it. I had to just honor the fact that he said, I'm ready to go.
Right.
And so I sat with him and had a conversation about his life. And it was the most amazing conversation, and sat in that moment and held his hand, and allowed for him to make a choice, his own choice. Yeah.
And that was a complete 100% sacred act of touching his
Yeah.
mind and his body of spirit.
Yeah.
Because it is difficult to sit with someone that's dying, because you don't want them to die.
You
Right?
don't.
You
No,
don't. You're like, oh,
you don't.
you don't, you
Beautiful
know?
human being.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, Mark, so
Yeah.
powerful.
It is.
So
It is.
simple tasks and random acts of kindness, right? Holding
Yeah.
a patient's hand,
Yep.
helping, even meeting someone at a dispensary. These are just simple things that we can do,
Right.
just to help people along the way. People come
Mhm.
to us
Mhm.
plagued with stigma. They
Yeah.
come to us fearful, right? And they come to us because they want to learn. They want a different way of life. And so when
Mhm.
we can tap into the sixth principle of working with patients without judgment, meeting them where they're at, educating and empowering them, holding their hands until they're ready to let go.
Yeah.
Wow, that's when miracles happen.
That's when miracles happen.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And I
And
really
there's a
do like that
miracle.
it's part of it is acts of service, right? I mean, one of
Acts
the
of
5 love
service.
languages, right? Acts of
It
service.
is. It's
It's all
probably
very simple. It is.
it's my
It
number
really is.
one.
It
It is
doesn't have to
my
be hard.
number one love language.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Totally.
yeah.
Because
Yep.
here's the thing too, is how I really truly got to understand what
Mhm.
the language of love was.
Yeah.
How do I most show love to other people is
Yep.
by acts of service. And that's what I love to
Yeah.
receive. Right.
And it's
So
funny, we usually do that, don't we? We
yeah.
usually come to others and do the same thing that we really wanna receive back.
Yes.
Sometimes
Yes.
we gotta sit back and say, "Is that really what their love language is?"
True. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But you
that's
know
another
what?
one.
Nothing wrong with acts of service. You can't go
Acts
wrong
of
with that
service.
one. That's always a
Can't go
good one
wrong.
to start with.
Exactly. Well, and
Yeah.
Mark, that leads into
Yeah.
acts of service. We have a free community, y'all.
Whoop,
Right?
whoop.
The Green Nurse Holistic Caring Community. We
Come
have
on,
so
man.
many different exciting things going on.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna I'm just gonna start off really quickly by one of the reasons why you want to join. You want to join because it's free. Number
Yep.
two, it's uncensored, it's
Yeah.
private. We're there. A free introductory course to cannabis.
Yep.
And the part that I'm really excited about that we're creating, Mark,
Yeah.
is the book club, a free book club. You join the community. Your book is going to be the
So many
second
good
book
books.
in the club.
Oh my gosh.
First book
So
is going to be
many good
Elizabeth.
books.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Elizabeth Mack wrote this book, and I really loved it. She's the CEO and founder of Holistic Caring, and she just
Yep.
wrote, "Dear Sherry, let's change the paradigm of healthcare together." Right? So together
Yeah. You
strong.
guys together are an unstoppable pair. Oh my god. Powerful in the cannabis space. You have to join the community. You
You
just
got to
have
join the community, y'all. It's
Yeah.
it's it's a good community, and when we're here, we're there for you. We're
Yeah.
there. We answer questions. The
Yep.
podcasts are there. There's blogs that are there.
Yep.
Private
Yep.
private messaging, just a little bit different. And so,
Come
if
on.
your friends and families are plagued with stigma, that's the place to send them. Right
Yeah.
there. So we
Yeah.
make learning fun.
We
So
do.
yes, we
So,
do. So happy
Jerry,
Monday, everybody.
Monday.
No,
It's
it is
Monday.
Monday. It's a
Anything's
great
possible this
day.
week. It's the end of July. Anything's possible. Man, this
Anything
summer's
is
just
possible.
flying by.
It is flying by. So much
These
going on.
Yeah.
We've got a
Yeah.
great week. We got shows every day this week,
We do.
Monday through
Yep.
Friday at 8 a.m.
Yep.
Wednesday night, we're having the amazing Tasha Jackson on. She's from Holistic Caring, and her story is really amazing. She was a school teacher
Yep.
teaching children in the school, and
Yeah.
how she converted and changed and shifted and pivoted to create educational programs for holistic caring. So now she's working teaching health professionals
Yeah.
through the curriculum that Elizabeth has created on
An
how to
amazing
incorporate
curriculum.
cannabis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun to hear her story because you generally don't hear of teachers. You just don't. Like, you know what I mean? Because teachers have been brought up with the DARE program, you know?
Yeah, well, their jobs are on the line. Oh my
Exactly.
gosh, for a teacher to say anything about,
Cannabis,
oh,
right?
anything to
I
do with
know.
that. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
going to be a
So that's wild. That'll be
juicy
great.
show.
She's an
Yeah.
amazing person. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So you have to listen to that. Now, Friday, is there gonna be a Frequency Friday on this coming Friday?
You know, we're
Uh,
taking Friday off.
taking a summer break?
We're taking a little summer break, and here's the reason why. I think we'll
Good.
be doing a little traveling, green nurse on the go.
Yeah.
And you know, we're just we're reevaluating programs as we start to, you know, we're building things out for the
Hey,
fall.
change
So we're
is
gonna
good. Change
yes,
is good.
change is
Gotta
good. So we're
change it
gonna
up
take
every now and again, for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
but the Frequency Fridays are
Yep.
also on YouTube, and they
Yep.
can be found on, you know, if you go back to some of the replays, so you can start
Yeah.
to learn about energy healing, you
Yeah.
know, vibrational healing, Reiki, reconnective healing,
Yeah.
and Healy. And we offer services
Mhm.
at the Green Nurse. So
Beautiful.
yeah,
Fabulous.
good stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
it's so good to see you all here
it
this
is.
morning. Happy Monday. Have an AFA day. Absolutely. Sherry, you got what's it all about?
You know what it's all about, everyone. It's about living your best life and helping others do the same. We love you so much. Thank you for joining us today.
Love you guys. See you tomorrow.